Hi everybody! Guess what we're making today? We're using our cardboard tubes that we have been saving up. It's finally time. I know I'm holding two in my hand, but we're only making one of your choice, and it doesn't have to be this one or this one. It could be your ideas. So the main objective of what we are doing is we are taking 2D shapes and creating a 3D art project out of it. I've heard in math class that you guys have been talking about 2D shapes and 3D shapes. So I would like your cylinder to be your cardboard tube, to be the basis of your project, because there's so much math in art. Okay, so get ready to watch my hands make some art. To begin making a rocket resembling this one, I'm going to actually choose to wrap this entire one in aluminum foil. I'm going to put some glue on the edge of my aluminum foil. To begin constructing what is going to be the cone on the top of the rocket ship, we're going to start with a flat piece of paper. And you're going to either do one of two things. This is if you're doing the rocket ship. This could even be a roof for your house as well. So if you watch the whole video, you can make your decisions on how you want to go about doing yours. You can either get a circle shape to trace. The other way, if you have a paper clip and not something to trace, you're going to use this paper clip to help you make your circle. So you're going to hold down the paper clip with your helper hand, tight enough so it won't move, but loose enough so that this part will be able to spin. And you're going to put your pencil point in the other end of the paper clip, and you're going to spin around. Woo, I'm not going to make it all the way. Let's see. Okay. Now I'm going to put glue on my circle, and I'm going to flip it and stick it to my aluminum foil. This entire step you can skip if you don't want it to be a silver rocket. And now I have my white paper circle cut out with it glued to the aluminum foil. The next step is getting it prepared to make a cone. So to do that, you want to find out exactly where the middle is. So to help us, we fold it 2 times. You fold it in half once this way, gently, because the glue is still drying. And then you can open it and then fold it in half so that there will be a line there. And where those 2 lines intersect is where we're going to find the center. There is the center right there where the 2 lines intersect. So you're going to find one of those lines to cut on with your scissors. Okay, now you have just that much cut. This is the fun part where we turn it into a cone. So you can see it's already closing, and do you see that? It will turn it into, you see what I did on the inside? If you just take the one piece over top of the other piece, and you can make your cone bigger and wider or narrower and smaller. Okay, so right here where you want to attach this to there, you can either glue it with a glue stick or staple it with a stapler. I think I'm going to go ahead and grab a stapler. All right, so I have my cone stapled and ready, my tube stapled or glued and ready. I'm going to put those to the side. The next thing I want to do is make a triangle for the sides that will help the rocket fly into outer space. Okay, this is ready, and I can see that it's almost just about as tall as my cardboard tube here. So I need it to slide up as far as it can go so that it will appear like this. You can always glue it or staple it to the back, or another way to do it is you can cut the sides like I'm doing right here, and one on the opposite side, and then you can slide your wings up that way. Okay, now I want everything to piece together. And then sliding it into place. Now our theme for gluing, boys and girls, is set it and forget it. We want to make sure that once you glue something in place, you have to try your hardest to leave it alone. I'm gonna put glue just on the rim here, similar to how we're gonna be putting the roof on our house next. And then I'm gonna take my cone, my flat 2D that I turned into 3D, and we're gonna set that on top. You can tape anything from magazine or newspaper, cut out a shape and glue it on, or you can do windows. I just happen to have this paint marker nearby, but you can use even markers. Permanent markers would draw on here well. I've added some details to my rocket ship with paint markers, but the top is permanent marker if you have those. You can also try regular marker. Boys and girls, if you decide to do the rocket ship, definitely make sure you give it a solid hour to dry, or you could use tape and try to do it quicker. And then once it's dry, you can pick it up and decorate it how you want to. So I'm going to go set it and forget it and let my rocket ship dry, and we'll move on to the house. What I want to do is use crayon and markers and newspaper just to show that there's so many different ways that you can take to get to the same result. So I'm going to color some sheets with crayons and markers and cut them out. So now that I have my Fire Flame colors, I can glue them inside of my tube so that the color of the flame is showing on the outside. And there's your rocket with all of the pieces glued on. Just on a side note, I got 3 clothespins. I tucked my flames in if you want to take it one step further and play with this. And you can do your countdown and say 3, 2, 1, and then you would have to take the clothespins off. You could have it blast off. So for example, if you want to make an A-frame roof on a cardboard tube house, you would first draw a rectangle about this big. And before you cut it out, you want to give your roof a color. You could also use paint. You could use crayons. I do want to add some shingles to my roof. So I'm going to do that with a crayon because my black marker dried out. And I'm going to draw some, in this case, these are vertical lines. Vertical lines that stand straight and tall, remember? And then I'm going to turn my paper in this direction to finish my roof shingles, and I'm going to draw a line going down and a line going down there. On the next row, this time I have to put a line in the center of this rectangle. So many shapes with this project. And then I did one in the middle of this one. Now I'm going to hop over here and I'm going to draw a line in the middle of this one. You can draw your roof to look any way you want. You don't have to put details on top of your roof, but you can if you would like to. Okay, so now our roof has some detail and we can cut it out. All right, now that I have my roof designed here, I'm going to need to fold it in half. And when I do that, it's going to give it that A-frame. And when you think of an A-frame of a roof, it's because it reminds us of the letter A, right? And that letter A is starting to make what shape if I had a base down here? Right, a triangle. For my actual house, I chose to paint it. I'm just going to give it one coat of this paint color that I chose. once you have all of your unattached items, it's time to glue them on. When you're working with these tiny, tiny pieces, you only need a tiny, tiny bit of glue. So I'm gonna put my window down here. If you hold it down in place for 10 seconds, that should be long enough for it to not wiggle around anymore. 8, 9, 10. Okay, and then we always say, set it and forget it. So once you glued it down, don't touch it anymore. When I used the marker on it, it started to curl up a little bit because it got wet. So if that happens to you, you can just kind of force it back down in the opposite direction using your fingers. All right, let's get the rest of these pieces glued on. Okay, so here it is. It's still very wet with glue. This roof you can't fuss with at all. I always say set it and forget it. If I do not touch it and I promise to leave it alone for at least an hour, it will stick. So you can see I have the shutters here. You can open and close them. I added windows on the sides. I added a little window on the door and just that little button just now for a doorknob. Endless possibilities with these. You can attach little bushes to the sides with cutting out a bumpy line, a tree, something fun on the back. What I think I'm going to try to do really quick is add a chimney on the roof right here. I'm going to cut a skinny strip of paper. So the side that I want showing, I'm going to lay down. Then I'm going to fold it forward like that and crease the fold, and I'm going to do it again. So all together you're going to be folding it 5 times, and the way that you can check is when you open it up you'll see 5 lines. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. On that last fold line, cut it. So each time you fold it, you're noticing a little square or rectangle. So I'm going to open it all the way up, and I'm going to fold it so that I see my square shape. I'm going to put one little tiny dot of glue on the end. And then this is my little closing flap. I'm going to put that on top of that glue and hold it in place for my magical 10 seconds. Add some glue on the edge very carefully. You might need a little assistance with this. I'm barely squeezing my glue. And then I'm going to put it on my roof. My roof is feeling more stable, so it's stable enough that I can put the chimney on it. And I'm going to put it on my roof, and I'm going to count to 10. So I just pulled a little bit of cotton off of a cotton ball, and I'll squirt a little dot of glue inside of my chimney, and then I'll take the cotton and very carefully make sure it's gonna press into the glue. Ah, now there's smoke coming out of the chimney. How cute is that? So I hope you had fun making your 2D into 3D art project. I hope you guys like your semi-functional project. Have fun, guys. Bye.